Hey y'all, welcome to the Steward's Ledger where we budget with purpose and live with joy. I'm Alicia, a wife, mom, teacher, and your stewarding bestie, walking this faith-based finance journey right alongside you. So, in the last video, we laid out our full debt confession and talked honestly about where we were financially, right? Today, we are taking that next step because once you know your numbers and everything like that, you need a plan. So in this video, I'm going to be walking through our March budget that we created. And then I'm going to talk about how that budget is going to support our goals for this year. So let's head over to my budgeting spreadsheet because I am a digital budgeter. And so let's go look at that. All right, so here is our budget for March. It is a little small, I know. I just wanted to have a zoomed out view of everything for you guys first. Today is March 7th. We already came up with our budget before March, of course. And some of the things on here you see are like pink and reddish and all that kind of stuff. We have tracked those bills and everything. I just unchecked them so that I could show you all what each item is. So I just wanted to put that out there. But I did get this spreadsheet from Baddies and Budgets. I love this spreadsheet so much. It's so helpful when I do our monthly budget. And so, yeah, I really love this spreadsheet and you guys should go check it out. But let's zoom in here. So first, we have our start amount in the top left-hand corner. That is the amount that we came from February with. And the only reason why we came from February with a leftover balance is because my check comes at the end of the month. So I get paid the 15th and then the last business day of the month. And so that, of course, is in February. And so that check has been brought over, or what was left of that check has been brought over to March. And so that is our current balance or our starting balance coming into the month of March. If we scroll down, you will see all of our income for this month. Tim gets paid twice. I get paid twice. And then we have a stipend that we get from our church as a pastor and a first lady, and so we have that as well. Tim's checks are usually $2,503.30 or 31 cents, something like that. Mine are usually exactly $1,820.48. And then our church checks are usually $500. However, we didn't get one in February. We would get the one that we didn't get in February in March because we did not go to church on the Sunday that we usually get them, which is the last Sunday of the month. But we were not at church on the last Sunday of the month in February, so it is being given in March with the other March stipend. So we're budgeting for that. So that would bring our income for March to $9,647.57. From here, we would build out our zero-based budget, which just means that every dollar has a place to go. Okay, it doesn't mean that your bank account is at zero. It just means that nothing's going to be left floating, giving us a chance to spend all willy-nilly on anything, because that's definitely how we got here in the first place, right? So from here, we would then go to our fixed expenses, which consist of our bills, our subscription, and our debts. Starting with our bills, we have the previous month's Xfinity bill because it comes on the 28th, between the 28th and the 1st, because it comes during that time for the previous month. We just put it on the current month's budget. And so the previous month's Xfinity is going to come out on March 1st, and it's $71.20. We have our regular daycare expense, which is going to be $2,268.75. It actually went up this month from the usual $1,800. So I'm definitely ready for my son to go to public school or, regular school, so that we don't have to pay for that. Because right now we're paying for my daughter and my son. But moving forward, we are budgeting $50 for water, which is our water bill. But it's usually between like $40 and $50. It can be anywhere like $41, $45, and that kind of thing. So I just put it at $50. Then we have our Vivint, which is our security, and that is $43.22. Progressive is our car insurance, $359.99. Our gas bill, our Georgia Natural Gas, is $134.76. Our power bill is $153.85. And then our phone bill is $196.10. And that is actually for me, my husband, and our parents, or like my in-laws. And so that's not just me and my husband. That's 4 of us. And so that's why that's kind of high like that. Next is our subscription and debt. I do have ChatGPT. Excuse the noise in the background, y'all, if you hear my husband. But we have the ChatGPT subscription. I am a teacher, and so ChatGPT really, really helps simplify my lesson plans for me and come up with different, resources and differentiation for my students. And it just really helps making my lesson planning very easy. So we do pay for that subscription. And then we have Apple Storage. And this is so that I can create these videos on my phone, as well as just different things, because my husband and I use the family storage, or like we have the family sharing. And so we just pay for that extra storage so that we can use that. Because we also have a family channel on YouTube as well. If you would like to follow that, you can by clicking the link in the corner. But that is why we have that. So next is my American Association of Educators. I do have to have educators insurance, and so that is $19.50. Then we have Kindle. I was using Kindle for some devotionals and different like self-help books like Atomic Habits and things like that. And my devotionals are really important to me, so I think I'm going to keep that actually. Then we have Apple Care for $2.99. We have a lot of Apple products, and recently one of them got really destroyed. Another one got left on our car, and yeah, it's just we just have that so that we can make sure that we're not wasting money on our products. We just need to be more careful, of course, but we got the Apple Care so that we can replace or repair our Apple products, because they are really expensive, and we really do enjoy having Apple, especially because that's our phone and everything like that. I also use my iPad for budgeting and videos and all that kind of stuff too. So yes. Then we have Paramount Plus, which this month it will be $13.99. We did have a trial where it was 99 cents for about 4 months, and so that's why we had it. But we're thinking that we're going to keep it, even though it's going to be $13.99, because we don't have cable or anything like that. And so Paramount Plus is the way that we stream different shows, or different my kids' shows and things like that, or their learning stuff. And so yeah, Paramount Plus is on there for $13.99. Really quick, back to our bills. Our total for bills is $3,277.87. And for subscription, our total is $78.45. Then we go to our debts. Our mortgage is $1,365.14. Imagine, which is one of my credit cards, it's $11. My therapy bill is $100. Wells Fargo is $272.29. Navy Federal is $244.06. WGU is $720.84. Our daycare debt, I said I was going to put $125 towards it, but of course, after we get our emergency fund, brief intermission, guys. So, we did our taxes, and we found out that we owe taxes. So, we are going to put the rest towards our taxes. And so, that is why daycare only has $125. Of course, we have to get our taxes paid for before anything, so that our wages don't start getting garnished or anything like that. So, once we get that paid for, then we will attack our daycare debt. I guess it should have been a debt, but right now we're saving up for it because it's not due until April, so it's in a sinking fund. So next is Citizens Pay, which is our security system as well, which is $66.67. So this is for our security equipment. The other Vivint was for our security service. In case anyone had those questions. So next is Credit One, which is $47. Roto-Rooter, which is $80. Mattress Firm, which is $154.46. And then Capital One. Again, that's another one where we pay for the previous month's payment because it is due on the last day of the month, which doesn't process until the new month. And so, like it says on there, March 2nd is when it came out. And so that was $17. Debt total, $3,203.46. So our variable expenses, we have giving, which is our tithes, would be $968. That is because we round up to the nearest $1 every time we get paid. So for example, Tim's first check would be $251. My first check would be $183. Okay, so that is our preference. We ain't arguing with nobody about that. That's how we're doing it. I definitely welcome all the suggestions, opinions, all the things. Just letting y'all know that is not changing. But our gas for the month is $350. Our household, which is our groceries, our kids' expenses, cleaning supplies, any extra toiletries that we may need, all of that comes from household, and that is $600 a month. Spending is $200. Eating out is $200. $150 goes to teaching, and that's for any teaching supplies that I need. Chart paper, printer paper, markers, all the things. Like, yes, my school supplies it, but not as often as I may need it, because they have to supply it for a school building full of teachers and stuff. And so in case I need those supplies, that's what that's for. I also have a classroom store that helps with my classroom management, and so I also use that money to pay for the items in my classroom store. And then we have a miscellaneous cushion of $50. Now we're going to go to our sinking funds. We have taxes, which this month we will be applying $2,848.51. So our taxes are, I believe, $3,000. Excuse the thunder, guys. It's raining. But I believe our taxes are $3,683. And so $2,848.51 will be going towards that for March. And then the remainder will be put towards it in April. And then you see mentorship with Jordan. So I did see some comments, about what we should attack first and everything like that. And I definitely thank you all for like your suggestions and your help and everything like that. I think because we have such an excess amount of money, like the $2,000 left over after our bills and debts and subscriptions are taken care of. And actually we have $3,348 left over, because of course I'm not going to do the mentorship every month, so that's still an extra $500. But so we have that amount of money left over now that we're being, disciplined with our money. And so that will help us get our debt down a lot quicker. And we'll be able to pay off our daycare debt. We'll be able to pay off our smallest debts. We'll be able to, just really get in there with the tag and stuff, build up that $1,000 emergency fund, all that stuff. So that's the only reason why we're doing things the way we're doing it. So back up here, we have our projected amount in is $9,647.57. That is just saying how much our income is, right? That does not account for how much we already have in the bank, which is that $2,728.72. That is why our projected amount out is $12,376.29, because we have that previous balance. So just in case anyone had any questions about that. So yeah, that is our March budget. Every dollar in this budget has a purpose, because when money has direction, it stops controlling you, right? And you start to lead it. Okay? So now that you guys seen our numbers and where we have allocated everything, let's talk about the goals behind the budget. Okay? Because the budget is just a tool, but the goals are the direction and where we want to go. Okay? So our financial goals right now are pretty simple, but they're really, really important. First, we're going to focus on completing baby step number 1, which is building our starter emergency fund. Having that small cushion will give us the stability that we need so that unexpected things don't throw our entire plan off. Right? Then we're going to prepare to move into baby step number 2, which is where we start attacking our debt, using that debt snowball. And if you watched our last video, you already know we have about $190,000 in non-mortgage debt. So this step is going to take some real discipline. Okay, but the main goal right now is not perfection. It's about structure and discipline, because when you're consistently following a plan, that's when progression eventually follows. One thing I'm really, really learning through this process is that budgeting isn't just about numbers. And I think I've said this already, but like it's about stewardship. It's about managing what God has entrusted us with wisdom and discipline. And sometimes that just means making decisions that aren't always easy in the moment, right? But they do end up moving you closer to stability and peace. So again, that is our March budget and the goals that we're working towards. Currently, this is the plan that we're starting with. And over the next few weeks, you'll see exactly how we execute these things through our bi-weekly budget as well as our cash stuffing. We're going to get our first cash stuffing out the way, y'all. If you are also budgeting, I definitely want you to let me know what is one goal that you're working towards right now. Let me know down in the comments. And if you want to follow along with us on our debt payoff journey, make sure you subscribe, y'all. Subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss the next step. Next up, we're going to be setting up that bi-weekly budget and getting ready for our first cash stuffing. But as always, I want you to keep budgeting with purpose and living with joy. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.